What's up, guys? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one, I want to break down something with SPY, Tesla, and the overall markets. Let me just mention that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. So, looking at Tesla, I just want to mention that we got this nice pump a couple of days ago up to this 228 area. And then since then, Tesla came down a bit, back down to 220, 219, 220. Then we pushed all the way back up to about 225 this morning. So we did push a little bit as I was predicting, only to get a big rejection. So I did call out 225 to watch and see what kind of reaction we get. And what happened was the market got a bit of a more negative reaction after we got this data. So the S&P Global Composite PMI was aligned with expectations, not bad. Manufacturing was a little bit weak, and then the overall services data was a little bit above expectations, but manufacturing is showing some weakness right now. And the market got a negative reaction to that. And then on top of that, we have some bill auctions and also more manufacturing numbers coming out at 11 o'clock a.m. So I just want to warn everyone to be kind of careful with this data coming out. As far as the market goes, we are showing some weakness right now. We're showing a little bit of weakness. And I think that SPY is the epitome of what's leading the way. And I'll talk about that first before I talk more about Tesla. So, something really important I want to call out. The first thing is SPY is forming this very, very big bearish divergence. So, if you look at the MACD, we're declining. The RSI is also declining. Volume is declining, whereas the share price was going up. And then also, the share price was pushing amidst the VIX also pushing. So, you'll see that the VIX is starting to push upwards. It's trying to break resistance. It's trying to break past 17, close to the 200 EMA on the 4-hour time frame. So the VIX is already starting to break out, whereas the market's breaking out. So that's a sign that the market may be topping. And then on top of that, you have to consider the facts that we hit some tough resistance. So I was hoping that SPY would get close to about 564. I was hoping we would push close to that before we see some kind of like rejection or so. But we actually came short of that. We actually hit 563 instead. So we came short of my target by 1 point. And now we're starting to show some weakness. You know, the resistance, the closer we get to all-time highs, is going to be very tough. And we came short of that, and now we're starting to build some weakness right here. So you want to see if SPY could reclaim 562. If we can't do so, we're at risk of dipping to 560. And the 560 area is what's holding us up. We actually have our 20 EMA on the 1-hour time frame as our supports. If 560 fails, the next supports are 558 and 556. Just remember, guys, 556 is critical support. If we lose that, there's going to be a big drop coming to the market, so that could affect Tesla. So that's why I wanted to call this out. That's the reason why the market's moving this way. So for SPY, we're showing some weakness right here. We'll see if 560 holds. There are buyers defending it, but the weakness is building, and this could be a sign the market may be reversing, possibly because of the bearish divergence and also these other factors. So I just want to warn you to be careful. If you look at Tesla now, okay, Tesla has this range. We pushed to about 228, came back down. Then we hit 225, then we came back down. We've been going back and forth for the past 3 days, but watch that 220 area. Can Tesla hold that 219 to 220 area? If we lose 220, if we just close below 220, we're at risk of dipping to about 217. Then eventually, I'd say around like the 215 area. So you want to be very careful with Tesla. If we reclaim 222, we could try to balance, but I just want to say that I am seeing some weakness building, at least for the shorter term. Now, as a reminder, okay, when you look at this right here, just check this out, the 4-hour time frame, this is still not looking too bad. We still have an uptrend on the 4-hour. If you look at this like this, if you look at this trend line, we're still holding above support. So Tesla's looking decent on the 4-hour time frame. This could just be a temporary dip before it bounces later on. This does not mean Tesla's crashing or anything like that. So do not panic, guys. Don't become too worried. We're also up compared to where we were back around August 7th. We're still up quite a bit. So yes, we may see a temporary dip, but the trend is still on an uptrend for Tesla for the time being, the bigger picture. Okay. So watch 220. If Tesla fails here, we could be dipping a bit. That does not mean Tesla's going to crash. It just means we're getting a temporary pullback. We're still holding our key supports, but just note that there is weakness building on the chart. Nvidia is also another example of this. We have a bearish divergence, volume is declining, then we hit this 230 area. I said yesterday it's possible we could be forming like a double top on Nvidia. We had that 130 area as resistance rejected. We need to break 132 to start pushing. If we don't do so, we're going to be looking for 126. So just note that there is some weakness on the chart. For Bitcoin pushed about the 61,500 area. Our support is now at 60,500, and then we also have support all the way down to about 60,000. So I do see a risk of it dipping to about 60,000 if 60,500 breaks. If you look at SPY right now, I think we're dipping harder right now. So we're barely holding 560. It's not looking too good for the bulls. The bears are gaining the edge. The QQQ is also starting to turn right here off this bearish divergence. I called out 485 as resistance. I said if we break through that, we turn bullish. If not, we reject. So far, we're rejecting. I'm going to be looking at 482 as one support. If that fails us, our next target is going to be 481.25 and then the 479 area. If we lose that, there's going to be a big dip on the QQQ. So 479 is going to be critical. I think we're going to be filling this imbalance all the way down to the mid 470s if 479 breaks. So watch for that. So I just want to say we're showing some weakness right now. Aapl had a bearish divergence developing. We pushed up to 228. Had we broken this 230, could have come, but we rejected. So we're looking at 226 as support. If that fails, we dip lower. So watch for that very carefully. For the IWM Russell 2000, we had a bearish divergence as well. So we did push to this 216 area. I said 216 to 217 is coming, and watch and see if you get a rejection. Lo and behold, we did get a rejection of 216, so we could be dipping towards this 213 area. So be careful. And also, this trend line is going to be our next support. So I'm seeing some weakness as well. For Coinbase, I said we might be pushing for about 209, then watch to see if you get a rejection. We went to about 207, came short by 2 points before coming back down. So now look at 202 as support. If that fails us, we're going down to 200 and 197. So very tight levels. The coin is showing some weakness. For Amazon, I said we had to hold above 180. If we held that, 184 is coming. If we reject, we're going back down to the least low levels like 177. So I think we might be dipping to this trend line and possibly even 177 if that breaks. So I'm seeing some weakness on Amazon. For Meta, we have a bearish divergence technically, but the issue I said was that with Meta, watch that 540 areas are resistance. If we had broken this, we'd remain bullish. If not, if we reject here, if we turn here, so if we end up losing 534, there's going to be a bigger dip coming, I would say into the high 520s, so be careful. For Microsoft, we pumped about 425 only to dip a bit, so watch 421 as support and 418. Watch and see this 421 area and see how this develops. Google is making lower highs. So notice how we had this high in this 170 area. We came down, made a lower high again, and we're continuing to dip. And then on top of that, we're approaching this 167 area. So I think we might dip back down to the breakout. This is where we had 166. This is previous support becoming previous resistance becoming support as well. So I think that's going to be an area of confluence. This 166 area could be retested. So I'm seeing a weakness developing right now. The VIX is starting to pump, guys, and the market's looking weaker by the minutes. So please be very careful with the weakness developing on the broader markets. This is dragging Tesla down. And I'm not saying Tesla's crashing. I'm not saying this is anything too insane. I'm not saying that it's anything like that. But we are seeing a temporary dip for now, and there could be more downside, especially if we don't hold above 220. So just wanted to call that out, guys. I want to give you guys a warning because of the fact that the market's shifting. I called out the market hitting some tough resistance for the last couple of days. Even yesterday, I made that video where I said I think that there might be a pullback coming. So far, it looks like it's coming true, but we'll be watching our key levels just to see, and just notes that the risks are still there. With that being said, I thank you for listening. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you guys in a couple of hours, and just know there is weakness developing on the markets, so just be careful. Don't be too crazy right now. Don't be too don't short way too hard. Not financial advice, but I'm just trying to say that I'm taking things lightly, so I'm not just going to go like way too heavy right now. I'm just giving the market some time to develop, and I am slowly entering particular positions, but I'm being very patient with that. The market could be very tricky sometimes, so you don't want to be too biased quite yet. That's why I'm taking things slow for now. At least that's what I'm doing in my opinion, and I would recommend the same if I could tell you anything. Not financial advice, but that's just what I'm saying. Anyways, that's it for the video. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you guys very soon in the next one, and peace out.